If you're American and you know it, clap your hands. No one? Really? Oh, that's because we're playing as Mexico! We're gonna get our asses kicked, aren't we? This is bad. This is really, really bad here. Mexico is definitely interesting, guys, because Mexico's in a pretty serious challenge here, where we have to survive against the onslaught of the Americans and their little Schnippeldorp here of Texas.
What's so great about dumb old Texas?
What did you say?
In 1836, the Mexicans were at war with the Texans because apparently the Americans decided to stage a little bit of a rebellion here to make sure that Texas, is annexed by the US afterwards. But we're not gonna let that happen, are we? So first we're gonna go to our military. We're gonna be mobilizing our army and setting them over by the border here with the Texans. We're gonna make sure they know their place in this new world, as we like to call it. Let's check our tech as well. We don't have much tech, to be fair, but we are going to be going for Napoleon warfare, since mobile artillery is going to be of use once the Americans are going to attack us. Let's face it, they will attack us. I also noticed that the English sometimes might help us out, so we're going to improve relations with the English. Let's check what their attitude is. It's protective. Oh, naps. All right, that's actually really good for us, because if these guys are unprotective, they might actually help us in the war against the Americans. Let's check what about the French. The French cooperative. Let's improve relations with them also in that case. And the Spanish, they hate our guts. Well, that makes a lot of sense, considering Mexico basically was a part of Spain and broke away. We also start with one construction sector. Why have more when one is, it's enough for us right now? No, it's not. Let's go ahead and build an extra 3 or 4 construction sectors. Let's go with 4, so we start with 5 construction sectors at least. Economically speaking, we have 400,000 gold reserves, which is not amazing, but not that bad either. We're gonna tax the schnapps out of people. We're also gonna set some consumption taxes, services, obviously, tobacco, liquor, and that's it. No more consumption taxes. We're gonna need the extra 200 authority to set up some edicts. Mexico City or Mexico State is our main state, 1.8 million population. We're gonna have the greener grass campaign here, as it's going to attract more people with migration, and the exact same situation with Jalisco or Jalisco, whatever you want to call it. We're going to set the greener grass campaign there too. These 2 states are going to be where we're going to be building the bulk of our industry, since we have a lot of extra population to, sustain that industry. We also have population in some of the southern bits here, especially in Yucatan, but these guys are not Mexican. They're predominantly Maya, so they might actually rebel. We want to go to our cultural map mode, and the areas that are predominantly Mexican are going to be the areas we're going to focus on mainly. For example, Zacatecas here is half Mexican, half Nahua, but not to fear, all of these Nahua and other ethnicities, they will slowly start getting assimilated in our main culture here. So right now we're getting 0.24 thousand per month converted over to Mexican. This will accelerate as we go along in the game. We also are missing a lot of vital industries, so we don't have tooling workshops, paper mills, steel mills, arms industry, shipyards. We need to build all of these, as well as we need to build coal mines and iron mines. That's why I started with the extra construction sectors, because we need to build these fast as well, since the war with the Americans is going to come pretty early on, and we need to get ready for that. So for that matter, I'm gonna build up 1 coal mine in Oaxaca and 1 iron mine followed afterwards in Mexico City. And I'm doing this because, as you guys probably know by now, you need to have a base industry before you develop everything else that requires that base industry. So the same thing goes, 1 sulfur mine and 1 lead mine wherever that's possible, and I have more population. And then after we build one of these basic industry mines, we're gonna build a paper mill, the tooling workshop, and all of the other buildings that we need from the urban area of our construction here. We're also going to assign this area as our vital interest, since of course we want to colonize and we want to make sure this is our land rather than the Americans' land. We can only have 1 current interest, so we're going to set this up, and later after we colonize that area, we're going to set more interest. We're going to try and expand in the southern and central parts of America at the beginning phase of this campaign. We cannot really take on the Americans early on without some actual support from other people, so after we're ready to take them on, we will, of course, and we're going to try to take most of the American lands for ourselves. It's also really important that we set up ceramics being built in our glassworks, which we didn't have before, and the same goes, get cannons in the arms industries after it is finished building. And also gas street light is amazing. lighting, but take note, we need coal for gas street lights. So we're going to switch over to this production method after we have those coal mines built. So that's in a few months, I guess, from now. We can, however, start with our market squares. It's going to give a big debuff. So it could be wise to wait until we actually start producing a little bit more glass. We only have one glass works right now. And let's check this glass works. It's actually not doing great because wood is extremely expensive. So that means I'm going to have to build more logging camps in order to make wood a little bit cheaper. And the war has begun. Let's go ahead. Let's win all the battles because, you know, we got more troops and better troops. I really hope the war target here is going to be to return Mexican Texas. Yes, it is. All right, we're good. I've noticed in most AI games as well, when I'm not playing as Mexico, what happens is the Mexicans win. So I don't know how, as the US, you're expected to save Texas somehow. Maybe it's just something. Wait. What's happening here? What the schnapps? Did my general just die? What? Oh, God. Okay. Let's get another general. My actual general just freaking died. Wow. In the middle of that. Holy shit, man. That is really bad. All right, we saved this. We saved it, and they're at minus 95%, so they're going to lose this. All right, we got it back. Perfect. We're still growing our colony in Texas here, so it's going to take a while. But Texas is vital, not because of the population system, doesn't have that much, but because of the land and because the new world is going to get a massive influx of migrants eventually. So if we go over to Mexico City, we see that we have a lot of shortages here. We got wood shortages. We had fabric shortages. We have, again, fabric and wood. Okay, that's basically only wood and fabric shortages. So I'm going to queue up some wood and fabric right here, boys. The livestock ranches build up fabric and wood logging camps build up wood. So let's alt click so we prioritize this a little bit. Same goes for the logging camp. Alt click so we get one ahead of the coal mine. We also can change this over to harvesting tools after we've built the tooling workshop, which again is in the queue for the time being. Legislation wise, we're not doing that bad. We have slavery banned. We also have serfdom abolished. Two of the hardest legislations to pass, by the way, in this game. So having this done from the beginning is a massive plus. Same goes for the army. We have professional army, but that being said, we're gonna need more troops because right now we only have 11. So that's really bad. The Americans, by contrast, have 11 plus 266 that they can just conscript because they don't have professional army. I think they have national militia. There you go. That's the big difference there because they got the national militia. They can recruit a lot of conscripts. Land-based taxation is not bad, but I'd rather switch over to per capita taxation. There is some support for this, 42%. There's some opposition to. So before I make that move, let me check everything else. Maybe I can get something else that might help out. National Guard would probably be more vital now. That would give us an extra 28 battalions, and it's right behind my head. Just trust me on this, okay? So let's try with National Guard first, and then we'll switch on over to the per capita taxation. We're also going to go ahead and we're going to import some things. We don't have much bureaucracy, so we cannot import too many things. We're going to try and focus on the vital stuff like fabric, which is in high demand. We're going to get it from the Americans. Kind of ironic, isn't it? And we're also going to be getting some wood since, as they say in medieval England, wood needed, my lord. I played too much Stronghold as a kid, that's for sure. Now that we finished building the coal mine and we finished the extra lumber mill and the livestock ranch, we're going to be building some more construction sectors. We need to speed up the speed at which we're building stuff. So alt click. We're going to go with 5 for now. I'd rather do an extra 10, but I'm doing 5 just yet. And then I'll do another 5 after a couple more years. I don't want to have too much of a strain on my economy. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're already on the plus. You got 1.5 million reserves. You're golden, bro. Just build 10 off the bat. And you're not wrong with that, actually. But I like to play it a little bit safe. And I've had way too many games in which my economy completely tanked ridiculously fast. I tried to avoid that. Let's say I like playing it a little bit safe. That's for sure compared to other players. And that being said, it doesn't mean that, you know, if people build an extra 15 from the bat construction sectors, they're wrong. They're not wrong. It's just a different play style. Because check it out. As soon as I've finished building all of the construction sectors, I went from 10,000 plus to minus 8,000. And this is a big deal, guys. Let's face it. It's actually a big deal. It also means that we're going to go back into shortages for wood and fabric again. So I have to start building more lumber mills and more livestock factories. There you go. Up to 30% penalty for the wood and fabric that I'm missing right now. That's a big penalty. I need to prioritize this as always. So alt click again 1 and alt click again 2 for the lumber mills. Realistically speaking, I probably need more than just 2 lumber and 1 livestock, but I'm doing this. If I need more after, I'll just build more as is needed. Hey, we got 15% enactment success chance. That's pretty good. We're getting some debuffs with our armed forces, which is bad because, you know, you want to keep all of your political parties in check and happy, but -3 for the armed forces is not so bad when we have +19 for the armed forces. So they're overall still super happy, let's say. When we hover over our current situation, we are lacking some goods, so we're gonna try and improve this situation by importing artillery and importing everything else that we need, which again is likely just fabric and stuff. Take note, every time you import stuff, you spend bureaucracy, so make sure you don't go below, like, say 100 bureaucracy, since we already are getting 11% tax waste. So we need to start building admin buildings after we've built everything that's already in the queue. So check this out. We went from 30% penalty from having very little wood to 13% max penalty. That's going to keep on going down or up depending on how many people we have employed in the wooding industry. So it also matters how many people are actually working in these logging camps. Right now we're at full employment, and that's going to get even better after we get more logging camps. We can go up to 25,000. Check this out. Every 1 week we get 2,500 because of the requirement for wood, and the max penalty we're getting now is around 5 to 8%, which is going to go down even more afterwards. I've also realized that by improving relations with the Brits, we can actually join their customs union. Joining the customs union of the British might not be the worst thing. Seriously speaking, it's not amazing because we kind of lose some of our liberties. We don't get the option of deciding which of these goods to sell or to keep on our domestic market, which is a problem, of course, but at the same time, it's going to get us even closer to the British, and it might ensure that we have some protection from the British if the Americans decide to attack us. So because for me, that's my biggest issue and the biggest fear right now, I am personally going to join the English market, even though it has some drawbacks like I mentioned before. Booyah that has fixed a ton of problems because by being in the English market, we also have access to cheaper goods from that market. Oh wow, okay, that's super great. We got the National Guard as well. So now how many units do we get? We get up to 30 battalions. Not bad. Not bad whatsoever. Let's go ahead and change our next legislation then. Let's go with per capita taxation. Per capita taxation has the potential of getting us an extra 8,000 ducats or pounds, sorry, in revenue. So let's try and get that enacted as well. So now that we are in the English market, we also don't need to stress so much about wood and fabric problems as we did before. So instead of building any more livestock and logging camps now, we can just focus on iron mines, lead mines, sulfur, coal mines, and then the basic stuff that was already in the queue that we pretty much ignored since we needed to build up the lowest tier of economic foundation at the beginning. It also means that we can start building up more construction sectors. So let's alt click and build up to 15 right now here. Happy to see that we're also getting some loyalists in our country for the first time in a while. Not sure why. I guess I did something good. I'm not gonna bother hovering over 100 tooltips to figure out actually why. All right, so we are using now essentially 35 construction. It's basically 1.5 buildings being built at the same time in Hoi 4 terms, right? Enough civies for almost 2 building slots. After we build everything that's in the queue, we're gonna queue up an extra 5 coal mines. Actually, let's do an extra 9 coal mines, 5 and 5 in each of these states here. And the same goes for iron. We're gonna queue up an extra 9 or 8. Wow, we can only have 9 iron mines in Mexico City? That is so few, dude. I would love to properly formalize an alliance with the British, but they're not happy with that. And I just saw that my per capita taxation went down to 0.5% chance. Gonna cancel this, get another legislation going, and try again with per capita taxation later on, since I'm not gonna bother with 0.5% enactment chance, okay? So let's go ahead and get dedicated police force up next. We don't really have many issues with radicals at the moment, but we will eventually after we continue to go along in the game. Radicals always spring up everywhere, so it's good to try and prevent that, you know, fight it before it even happens, essentially. Looks like coffee plantations are great to be had around our lands. Let's go and get 2 coffee plantations done as well in Mexico City, since we don't have any right now. And the same goes, let's get some cotton plantations. As a general note, I personally prefer to have a little bit of everything before I start focusing on one thing a lot. And I know I just said that, but I actually have in the queue a lot of coal and iron. That's an exception, okay? Coal and iron is literally the basis of your industrial revolution. You want to have that as soon as possible, and and just 10 coal mines and 10 iron mines is not much. I'm eventually gonna try and have, you know, hundreds of each, because you do need a lot of coal and iron to have a proper industry going. Changing all of these production methods is a lot easier now since we are a part of the British market or customs union. So because we're a part of the British customs union, we get all of these goods from that collective customs union of the British. I just said custom union of the British for like 5 times in a row, didn't I? Anyway, the point is that we don't need to have it locally built anymore, as it goes in the same overall market as all the other goods in the British customs union. So if you go over to market, you can see our customs union is the same one in all of India, the same one in Australia, same one in the British Isles, all of Canada, and all of Mexico. So all of these provinces, whatever is being built in all of these provinces around the entirety of the world, is a collective pool from which we also take goods from and use as needed. So yeah, my point is that we're good now that we're a part of the British Union here. But take note, you never know what might happen. We can get kicked out of the customs union. So just to be ready for that point, we need to have our own goods available if it happens, right? Having the dedicated police force is good, but at the same time, it means that we now have 3 institutions, and as such we need a lot more bureaucracy points because we want to level up these institutions also. Obviously having a level 5 institution is the best because, you know, you get the most out of that particular institution, but realistically speaking, it's going to be a lot of bureaucratic points to do that. So once we're ready, we're going to advance the levels. Until that point, we just have to continue staying on level 1 for now with the institutions and passing more legislation. So let's try with round 2 of per capita taxation. The base success chance is 15%, better than the 0.5 that we had before. Hey, look at that. Guatemala wants a defensive pact. I'm going to say no because Guatemala is going to be one of my actual targets. Oh, what? They got good relations with me? Bro. All right, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to get the alliance with the Guatemala in that case. And let's see what kind of army they have. 2 battalions. Oh, come on. That's just a waste of an alliance slot. I need to wait before I cancel the alliance. I'm going to begin damaging relations with them, and I'll cancel the alliance later on once I can. I made a mistake. I should not have gotten that alliance with them, to be fair. You can only have 1 ally, and wasting it on a nation like Guatemala is, you know, it's not smart. Don't make the same mistakes as me, is what I'm trying to say here, okay? Second time was a charm, as they say, and with the per capita taxation, it's going to be of huge help now. But we did switch over our construction sector to iron frame buildings, which means we are building 5 iron mines at the same time, and that means we're using up a ton of money to build those iron mines. It's costing us 70,000 pounds to get all of the construction goods. It's gonna get cheaper if we build more iron mines, of course. So by us building the iron mines, you know, that we need in order to get iron, we're doing a good thing for the entirety of our customs union, obviously. But that being said, we have to be careful as well, because interest is going to kill our nation if we're not careful. Once we reach, say, 1.5 million credit, we need to tone it down a little bit. Let's also go ahead and build up some civilian manufactories. I'm talking about furniture manufactories, a couple of these. Food industries as well, a few of these. Let's say 5 food industries for now. Textiles, obviously, too, is really important. And I'm doing this because not only will it improve our standard of living, making stuff cheaper and more affordable for our general population, but it's also going to improve our economy. It's going to bring up jobs, and people having jobs means they contribute to taxes. So it's just the basic way of improving our economy overall, let's say. I've paused my construction for the time being because I've reached 1.9 million in credit. So I'm going to wait until this goes back down to 1 million in credit, and then I'll continue constructing stuff. I don't like having too much high inflation. I know the actual meta is to basically just wait until you reach the maximum credit, and then you just pause it then. Oh, hold up a second. What's going on here? Target Ute, Colorado. Oh, no. No. They're going to take this entire area. Oh, this is bad. Oh, and I cannot help them because I got, like, you know, no army and stuff. All right, let's go ahead and resume our construction here. Oof. They're going to have all of this area. That's going to be super border go right now then. Let's go ahead and set up our interest in the south bit of America, since we don't need to have this as an interest. It already is a default interest of us because we have provinces in this area now from the colonization that we did before. That means we're going to be able to colonize the southern parts of America, since nobody is doing that right now. Oh, I just realized I didn't build up my gold mines. I had like 5 gold mines I could have built at any moment, and I didn't. Clearly, we need to get those gold mines going. This is similar to the EU4, right? Gold-rich areas of Mexico, pretty much same areas. So now we managed to get between the 2 Sicilies and Spain when it comes to our GDP. We're definitely working our way up there. And the fact that we're a part of the British customs market makes a huge difference. We wouldn't be able to afford a lot of the stuff we have right now otherwise. We also just got the soil enrichment farming, which is a huge deal for all of our farms here. It's going to help out so much, and it's going to make us produce a lot more goods than we were before. That also means that we have to start building some chemical plants now and start producing some explosives, because eventually we're going to actually need those explosives for the dynamite in our iron and coal mines and other mines. We have a lot of mines, but we have to chill a little bit. We got 3 million in credits, so yeah, we may have pushed our economy to the edge a little bit, let's say. We have to do it though. There's no other way around it. If we don't do this and we don't push our economy a little bit to, you know, work on double time, well, then the Americans are just gonna crush us when they start attacking us. We don't want that to happen, do we? Sugar is also one of the most important goods in the game, and the fact is that we can build a lot of sugar plantations in our country. Pretty much the whole thing is, you know, one big sugar land. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna take advantage of it, because the whole world and our customs union really needs this sugar. Oh my lord, finally we got some railways going too. That's gonna help out so much, because we can now improve our market access in the provinces that we had issues before. Plus, it's gonna make it so that we require less people in mines, factories, plantations, as long as we switch the production method to railway. Oh snaps, there's already a diplomatic play. Looks like the British want to puppet Mosquito and subjugate New Granada. Oh, I'm not happy with that. I mean, I'm on the side of the British, but that's nasty as snaps. The Americans are helping. Okay, this is getting juicy as schnopido. I'm gonna stay neutral in this though, because if they both go to war, the Americans and the Brits, I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna attack nations myself whilst I can. Speaking of, let's see, can we do a puppet? Yes, we can. Yes, we definitely can. So I'm gonna try and puppet or fully annex Guatemala, depending on how this diplomatic play goes on. It looks like they might actually go to war. Oh, that's gonna be great for me. Please go to war. Yep, they went to war, boys. The Americans and the Brits are at war. That is my time to shine right there. It looks like they're getting joined by Honduras and Nicaragua, but the good part is I can conquer all three of them and almost no infamy as consequence. I only have 27 infamy from having these 3 war goals, which is really, really low, let's face it. I am gonna have to conscript some of my units though, because I'm not sure I have enough. 12,000 against 8 is pretty close, let's face it. Oh, damn! They gave up just like that, bro? Hot schnickeldongs. Let's integrate these bad boys. That means we can start with the new conquest of Honduras. Maybe I'll just wait on this for a while. Maybe I'll just wait for this one. Also, I need to fix my economy a little bit, so yeah, I guess I'll wait. But then again, now that the British are at war with the Americans, it's pretty much the greatest time to do this. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll be greedy a little bit. I'll be a little bit greedy with these things here. Try and, you know, unify the Central American areas. And because New Granada joined on their side, I managed to get the British on my side. Even though the British already are at war with New Granada, it's basically how this game works. It's weird sometimes. I don't really understand the AI's decisions. Okay, yeah, we got that too. Well, this is fairly easy. I guess I can do that for the whole area, can't I? I hope I can. Let's see. Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna stop with El Salvador. I'm not gonna attack anyone else after I take the El Salvadorian lands, I guess. Wait, what? We're actually making money. Well, we're not making money, but we're only at minus 11,000 when we're building at full capacity. That is an improvement right there, boys. It's also time that I reform my government. I'm not happy with the current layout here. Let's see what we can do here. It seems like by getting the industrialists and the intelligentsia in the government and getting rid of the landowners, we are getting a little bit more legitimacy and access to new legislation, including religious schools. I want to go for this. It's not the best type of school, but it's better than nothing. We get 10% education access on the first level. We want to aim towards public schools, which makes it a lot better. We get a simulation and we also get education access. 10 bucks says these guys are going to give up. Yep. Told you. The sucky part about that is they still have one province here, so them giving up is not the best outcome, that's for sure. And I know what I said about Costa Rica being the last one, but I promise Nicaragua is actually the last one, all right? I'm not taking anything else after. I swear I'm not a warmonger. I'm not. Maybe a little bit, I might be. Oh, look at them sugar plantations being built now. We queued up a few. I'm gonna queue up an extra 10, actually. Let's do that now. And some gold mines, apparently, we can queue up. I feel like Yucatan's a great spot to get, say, an extra 20 or 19 sugar plantations. See, I'm a benevolent leader. I'm giving jobs to all of my states, not just the main 2, all right? Just the shitty jobs in the other states. But that's not the point, okay? Nicaragua is actually fighting me? Oh my lord, they have the balls, that's for sure. They have like 1 unit or something. They have 2 units. Oh, this is so... Oh, I feel bad for them now. I feel so bad that, you know, I'm gonna make them a part of my country. That's how bad I feel. Meanwhile, the British and the Americans are still at war, I believe. Yes, they are. The British lost 4 million in total cost, and they also lost 124,000 dead, whilst the Mestizo side only lost very, very little. Is there any battles going on? Oh, the battles are going on by the border here between the British colonies and the Americans. Ooh, very interesting. Let's see from the American side what this looks like. Oh, the Americans actually have quite a few wars. Where are the Schnapses? Nitsi Tapi. Nice. Should we go for Costa Rica? What do you guys think? Would I be a total warmonger if I was gonna go for Costa Rica? Or is it really that Costa Rica is an integral part of my country? I think it's the second, right? Come on, let's just face it here. Wait, they didn't give up? No way. No actual way. No, they did give up. I was gonna be like, if these guys fight me with like 1 battalion again, that's gonna increase my respect for all of the Central American nations by a lot. The great part now, we've basically integrated most of the Central Americans. So that means we went up to 20 million GDP by incorporating all of the production that we had in these lands, that we have in these lands. It is gonna take roughly around 3 to 4 years to fully integrate all of this now. So after that's over, it's gonna improve our economy a little bit more. Also, we're making money now, even though we're taxing the schnapps out of people. It's important to note we're making money whilst we're building at full capacity. So there's definitely been a lot of improvements in our country in the past few years, mostly due to conquest and just, you know, continuously building schnapps. It's also worth noting whenever you get nitroglycerin, it's gonna be good to have nitroglycerin as a production method, but the mortality rate is huge, and for a country with very little population like us, only 7 million population, it's not great. So I'm not gonna go for nitroglycerin. I'm gonna try and rush for dynamite, which is basically the same thing and improves our production, but it doesn't kill our people in the process. That took a really long time to enact, considering that we had 53% chance to get this for a while. The economy is massively increasing with the extra factories that we've built, so I think it's time that I increase the amount of construction sectors that I have to maybe double what it is right now. Let's queue that up, say in the state of Bajío, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go up to 10, and then we'll bring it up to 15 afterwards. If we can manage 10, then we can probably manage 15 as well after. I really hope New Granada is going to join on the side of Mexico, because then I can call in the Brits and I can offer treaty ports from Granada, and I can take Panama from them, which is great since I want to take Panama in the long run anyway. What the hell happened here? 39,000 population in Panama? This starts with like, what, 200,000? How did they lose so much population, dude? Oh wow, seriously? You're actually not joining? Come on, New Granada, you know you hate me. Well, we just got a new province, an extra 30,000 GDP. That's what it's all about. It's not about the great province of Panama. It's about the freaking 30,000 GDP. I'm salty, okay? That's what's happening. Let's also clean up all of these lands. Highly doubt they're gonna actually fight me, so should be fairly fast. And I was right. What do you know? They're not really inclined to fighting someone when they have 0 soldiers. They don't even have a single battalion to fight me. We essentially have everything in Central America with the exception of the British colony of Guatemala, which of course I'm not touching because they're my favorite and bestest friend in this entire run. You got a friend in me. Damn, we went up to 79,000. That's insane, dude. Holy shit. 232,000 we're getting. You know what? I'm gonna increase some of these wages actually to get some approval from these political parties. And I've decided to go full on with the construction sectors. We're getting 15 in the second state in Bajío. So we're gonna go up to about 150 construction sectors overall, massively improving our situation. And it means we can actually catch up to the Americans now. They've got 51 million GDP. We got 34 million. Definitely we can catch up to them. They're the ones right above us. So that's my next target, obviously. Let's see if we can also get 5% workforce ratio from the propertied women. Or is this proper-tied women? How do you pronounce this, guys? I'm confusion right now. Holy snaps. 111,000 pounds for construction goods is being used right now. So we're gonna need more iron mines, aren't we? I think the next legislation I'm gonna change is gonna be the colonial resettlement, because within unincorporated states, we get 100% migration attraction, which is a huge amount of migration attraction. And all we got to do is just not have incorporated states, like, you know, the states in the south tip of America are not incorporated, and I'm not planning on incorporating them since I can basically build here a huge population surplus. Look at this bad boy here going up. 122,000 12,000. And from migration, we're already getting 16,000 just in the Buenos Aires area alone. Same thing goes in the Mexican Araucania, 107,000 population. Huge amount when you think about it. We actually should start building stuff here now that I think about it. And the best part is that we did eventually get dynamite, so now we can produce a ton more of everything essentially. But we do need to get explosives. We don't have much explosives, so we have to start building our chemical plants up. So we're not going to change everything to dynamite. We're just changing coal mines to dynamite. And next we're going to build a ton of chemical plants, followed afterwards by switching over the production method to dynamite for the other mines, of course. So let's alt click for this because we want to prioritize this right now, at least 5 to start with. We've gotten some extra bureaucracy, so we can also go ahead and change our education level to level 2, and the same goes for the law enforcement. We're gonna bring this up to level 2 for now. Look at that, boys. We're catching up to the Americans. 45 million compared to their 56 million, and the reality is that they have not gone up that much in GDP compared to us. They've only gone up by like 5-6 million if I'm not mistaken. What the schnaps just happened? Wait, this changed by itself without me clicking anything? Okay. Time to put down some natives in South America, and in the process annex all of these lands a lot faster. I'm also gonna start building a ton of barracks because I'm gonna go to war with the Americans at some point in the nearby future, and I need to have soldiers for that. I don't have any soldiers. I didn't build anything compared to what I started with and what I took from the various countries I conquered, whilst the Americans, on the other hand, built a ton. They got 132 regulars and 400 possible for conscription, so my best bet is gonna be getting better technology than them for my military when I decide to attack them. That's pretty much the only bet I have. Economically though, we just surpassed them. 57.3 million compared to their 57.2 million. They're still 5th in the great power rank compared to us not even being a great power just yet, and that's mainly because our population and because of the prestige. They got double the prestige that we have. We have better standard of living than them. We got 15.4 compared to the 14.4 that they have. In fact, standard of living wise, we're not really that bad. I'm actually quite surprised to see Nejd and Mahra having better standard of living. What the Liberia's got the— come on, really game? Wait, what? We're getting an alliance from the Canadians. Oh, this is good. This is really good because that means we're going to be able to crush the Americans together. How strong are they so far? They got, oh god, they got 16 battalions. But they got 12 million GDP. That is really not bad, dude. Yep, I feel like this is the start of a great friendship between our two nations. We're also obviously making absolute bank right now, so I'm going to start building more construction sectors so I can ramp up my overall economy even faster. Let's say an extra 15 construction sectors should suffice for the time being. Kind of surprised to see that even with an extra 15 construction sectors, we're still getting a ton of money, and we got 17 million reserves. So why the hell not? Let's build an extra 15 construction sectors as consequence. I'm fairly confident we can handle all of this extra construction being made at the same time. California's population has tripled in the past few years, and that is a good thing because it means we can start investing in the state a lot more now. I'm gonna go ahead and get up to 10 iron mines. Same goes for Guatemala, another 10 iron mines, Arizona, and so on. Iron is absolutely insanely necessary for everything that we do. And the problem is that most of the places where I can build iron mines, I don't have the population. So the fact that I now have the population in these areas makes a huge difference for me. And we just managed to get landed voting. We're getting closer and closer to being an actual democracy here. Round 3 of building up more barracks. We're still far behind the Americans when it comes to our army size, but economically, we're absolutely crushing them, so we can sustain a much bigger army than they can right now. We're gonna do exactly just that. Since I don't like being challenged in the south tip of America, I'm gonna be attacking Chile, and I'm gonna try to fully annex them if I manage to, you know, actually start the war. And they don't wussy out of this, of course. And, of course, they did wussy out, as expected. Right. Well, let's try that with Argentina in that case. Cannot, because I got too much good relations, apparently. All right. Well, we'll come back to that area later in that case. Wait, what the schnaps? I just noticed. Why is a huge chunk of my country French culture? How did this happen? And for that matter, how come I've got 500,000 Irish and 500,000 Flemish in my country too. All right, I got a lot of questions right now. Isn't it a little bit ironic that we've got so many livestock ranches that we're building in Texas and Alabama right now? And by Alabama, I really mean New Mexico. I know that some people might think New Mexico and Alabama is different places, but you don't know geography, okay? I'm totally not wrong on this. All right, it's fine. I admit I was wrong. Hey, check this out, boys. The US has 16.6 million in debt right now, whilst we have a positive balance, and we are definitely ahead of them when it comes to our GDP. They only have 64 million, we're up to 114 million. Only thing that's left now is basically to crush them. We have been building a ton of battalions, 131 regiments, and we are slightly above them when it comes to our technology. You might have noticed though that I've been trying this playthrough to explain everything a little bit more in depth, and that's why this video has dragged on for a little bit longer than usual. I want to do a second part for this where we actually crush all of the US and we've essentially become the dominant power in all of North America, but let's get 6,000 likes for that, because I also want to take that step by step, explain every single thing, how you can win against an army that is superior. Well, they're not superior, they're just a bigger army than we have. And I also want to show off the late game economy, especially from the New World perspective, and especially after we take over the American stuff, which is, you know, really juicy lands. So until the next time, check out this amazing Japan run. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support. If anybody else would like to also support me, you will find the links in the description.